Japan, Part 81. As the nation began to recover from World War II, government leaders recognized that capitalists, company white-collar employees, industrial laborer, farmers, and government workers should share in the fruits of economic growth. Since the 1950s, there has been an implicit understanding in many circles as to how these different groups would share in the benefits, not through a welfare system, but through adjusting wage increases to balance improvements among various segments of the population. Consumer organizations have been weak, but people organize groups to improve their circumstances by raising their income through their place of work. Each spring, labor unions compare figures and then formulate their demands for wage increases. Similarly, management associations jointly declare the necessity of limiting wage hikes to avoid ruining the companies. Although representatives of large associations present general and specific arguments to prepare the climate of public opinion, the final decisions are made in individual companies. Companies are not bound by rigidities imposed, for example, by the Swedish system, where national ratios of the wages are set for various kinds of work. Although each company retains some flexibility, statisticians who have analyzed wage increases in various companies are able to predict final wage settlements with a high degree of accuracy using a formula that takes into account productivity increases, cost of living increases, and profitability. This testifies to a widespread consensus among the workers and management in the various companies as to what constitutes an equitable share of the profits. Each company knows that to maintain the enthusiasm and support of its workers, it must be roughly as generous as other companies of the same kind. The constancy of consideration does not preclude some changes, as for example, when the gap between young and old workers began to narrow in response to the shortage of beginning workers. Over the years, however, as information has spread, the differentials between people with the same level of skills in different industries has declined. There are differences in public and private sector salary increases in a given year, for government employees tend not to receive such large increases in the years of excellent business as do the workers in private sector, nor such slight increases in the more difficult years. However, over several years, the average increase in the two sectors is remarkably close. National and local governments also raise their salaries at about the same rate, with only minor variations. Since government employees watch the wage increase in private industry, since the wage increase in private industry. Very closely, the government recognizes that to maintain a devoted workforce, it must increase salaries at roughly the same pace as private industry. The same sense of fair share applies to the increases in the standard of living of farmers, whose income has also kept up with non-industrial salaries. Adjustment